Hi, I'm Austin Eartham.
And I'm Taylor Patton. Welcome to the Kitchen Table Podcast.
We're here to motivate, educate, and relate to you guys, sharing our stories, helping you get 1% better in all areas of your life. Welcome to this week's episode of the 1440. Hope you guys like Tuesday's episode. If not, give it a listen. We talked about priorities, talked about a certain mindset, had a lot of good stuff going forward here. So, this one is going to be the best one ever, like I said on Tuesday, because I saw a tweet that talked how consistency over intensity by Brad Stuhlberg, who again is a sports psychologist, and it got a lot of views and replies. And I personally was going to get into the gist of it, and I didn't like the quote. So,
What's the quote?
Consistency over intensity. So I screenshotted a bunch of the stuff, and I will say it, then I'll give my opinion. And I'll let you talk, and then we'll banter back and forth.
Okay.
Like a couple of mates, eh?
Okay.
All right. So he said consistency over intensity. And the consistency cycle is repeated small efforts to obviously compound big gains. So you get a little bit better each day, and in a year, you'll be next level, right? I always say that consistency is important. Intensity is like up and down, right? So you go really up, and then he says heroic effort. Then you go down because you get injured. Then you go up and down. Then you're a legend. Then you go down because you get sick. Then you go up and down, and you pull an all-nighter, and then you burn out. So he's saying like the roller coaster ride is due to you being too intense in your life for whatever you're going this for, okay? Somebody else said, who is, I don't know who he is, Andre Mellis, he has a blue check mark, said this is a false dichotomy. Who says you can't be intense and consistent? And I like that. Like, I literally like the tweet. And he said, if you're true, Brad responded and said, if you're truly being intense, then you can't be as consistent. You'll get injured or sick physically and or emotionally. The more the load, the more the rest, and the come down required. So you're saying emotionally you have to go back to level 0 at some point. Physically you have to reset at some point because if you're too intense. Right? Now, I think consistency is super important, but I think if you can be intense, if you can be more intense than your neighbor and more consistent than your neighbor, you'll be better. But you have to have some sort of intensity, because if you are consistent and they're consistent on the same level, obviously if you're more consistent, you're going to go up, right? But if consistency is the same between you, the intensity is going to change. Same with if your intensity level is the same, but your consistency level is different, one with better consistency is going to do better. So either way, you can look at it. Consistency might be more important, yes, but I think we can't judge that because it's way harder to be consistent than it is to be intense once in a while. So in terms of the average population, if you're going to be intense, let's say you're intense, you should work out every day for 60 minutes, right? So let's say you're intense one time a week for 30 minutes, right? There's 90, it's CrossFit Journal, 70% of adults don't have an intense workout once a week. Okay, so if you can do an intense workout once a week, you're better than 70% of America already, let alone being consistent. Okay, so if you can have intensity once a week and the rest of those days you just work out, or even if you work out 3 days a week, but of those workouts, day 1 and day 3 are super intense, you're getting just as much gain as you are if you're just doing consistency every day. Because it's hard after work, hey, I got to go work out for an hour, but you don't have to work out hard, you just got to go work out. The time is what number one reason people don't work out, too much time. CrossFit, you do an intense workout for 15 minutes and you're done. The 15 minutes sucks, and it's hard to get your mind to do that, but if you do that, it's only 15 minutes. So I think it really depends on the person, but I look at it as, one, I'm very consistent, but two, if I can be intense more often and then rest the days after I'm intense, I make way more gains than if I just do stuff consistently and intensely, because you have to come down from the intensity at some point, right? You are going to get injured. For me, I have to have that so-called balance we talked about on Tuesday. I can't just work out hard. because my body will just be dead at some point. But if I can be more intense, more often, and play that line and know when I need to rest, and I'm still consistent, then I'll be better. So I don't think consistency is necessarily better. I think consistency is harder than intensity. But if you can be intense more often and know when you need a break, like 2 weeks hard of lifting, 1 week really light, to keep that balance both physically and emotionally, then go back to hard for a week, and then you go on vacation after your cycle. Right? Take 10 weeks, okay, week off fully. But then you got to keep your other areas of your life good. And then you're turning into consistency and intensity. Then you're really getting great. Those are my thoughts. That's it. Shoot it.
My thing is, my thought process, consistency over intensity any day of the week.
Consistency over intensity?
Yeah, I think Brad's right. I'm with Brad all day long. And that, why? Because a lot of what you said, consistency backs up intensity. You continue to say that you needed consistency to have the intensity. It can't be intense like without consistency. Like I'm gonna go to the gym and be intense tomorrow. Okay, and then 3 weeks I'm gonna be intense 2 days a week. But so there's no consistency, and I went to the gym in 3 weeks in between because there's no consistency. But you're intense every time you go there. I think that's what that quote is. It's so it's comparing two separate identities. Oh, now if you overlap them, well, that's okay. Now we're best buds.
Okay, so we agree on that. We agree on
that. Literally saying though over, but something like separately. If you're consistent every day, you're going to get way more out of it than going once, twice every other week to the gym, going all out, intense. But if you're consistent with it and you're all out intense for 1 day a week, and you can get all your stuff in and be the most intense person that you can be, then hey, that's awesome. I wish the best to you. It can be me, but
one, I think we agree on ourselves too. We know what we need.
Yes. And again, it depends. That's just the gym. So we're gonna be intense in praying. We're gonna be again, you know what I'm saying? Like if we're talking about like prayer. Like we're gonna be intense in prayer for 15 minutes and then not do it again for 3 months and be like, oh, okay. Or are you gonna be consistent? Like I'm gonna pray for 15 minutes every day or every other day. I'm gonna sit with God and meditate for.
So see, if you say every other, you keep going.
That's still consistency on your we're being consistent. Like, okay, I go get my hair cut Tuesday at 3 every week, and you show up Tuesday at 3 every week. That's consistent. I eat a banana 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. If I eat a banana Monday, Wednesday, Friday, that's consistent. That's a pattern. That's consistent. It doesn't. Again, consistency doesn't need to be every day. I go get my oil changed once every 3 months, but I'm consistent with it. Oh, am I going to be intense getting oil?
I don't know if you can do that.
Couldn't even do that. Okay. Intense getting your oil changed out there than like hustling them along.
You're right.
You know, I think it's just together. That's best case scenario. If you can use them together to gainfully push you forward, that's awesome. But separately, I'm not consistency going every day because again, if you get consistency, intensity will follow. And that's my take. That's where I'm at.
All right. One, we agree on best of both worlds would obviously be number one. Two, we both obviously know individually what we need to be best. One, I am one of the most consistent people ever, probably. So it's easy for me. I think I got 3 thoughts. Number one is being consistent is great, but if you're not challenging yourself, the consistency does not matter.
That is.
You're
asking 2 different things again.
No.
You're bringing up yes, you are.
Okay.
That's 2 different things.
No, if you
were consistently showing up to the gym.
No, it does not matter. If I consistently go to the gym every day after work, that does not matter. Because you have, okay, again, if we're using benefit, right? if I pray, I'm going to pray every other day, let's say. I'm going to pray, we're just use every day because everybody should pray every day.
Yeah.
I'm going to pray every day for 15 minutes, right?
Yeah.
Okay, during that prayer for 15 minutes, I'm also going to listen to a podcast or make supper and make sure my kids aren't doing something they're not supposed to do. I'm consistent, but I'm not really getting anything out of it, right? At the gym, I go to the gym every day, but all I do is walk on a treadmill at 3 miles per hour.
Yeah.
For the average person, you're really not getting fitter. You're not doing anything. You know how many calories you burn for walking on a treadmill for 30 minutes? I'm about to do a 15-minute CrossFit workout, hard as crap, and I'm done.
Okay, but again,
if you need that self-time, sure, but you're not getting better. If the reason to go to the gym is to get better,
yeah.
you're not doing anything. You're wasting your money.
But it could be a time where they're like clearing their mind.
Yeah,
like, there's a lot of factors.
But you're not getting better.
But sometimes people don't. Sometimes like that 30 minutes is just to themselves. They don't want to get better at the gym. They just want to walk on the treadmill for 30 minutes without having.
Then I don't think the consistency or intensity should be in that conversation.
You're going to bring it up. You're going to bring it up.
Consistency and intensity should be something to get better. Why are you intense or consistent about something if you're not getting better at it? You're just wasting time.
What do you mean by that? Like,
if you're not trying to get better, you're wasting your time.
Yeah, a lot of people waste a lot of their time.
That's my point. Go do something else.
But a lot of people still find enjoyment out of it. Just because you're not getting better at something don't mean I'm never going to be a top A video game player. But
Okay,
I still enjoy playing video games.
My point
my goal is never to like become the best.
Yeah, but you don't consistently play video games at 6 o'clock every night. When you do, you play an intense because you enjoy it. If you're taking that 30 minutes to so-called have self-care or time to yourself and you enjoy that 30 minutes, then you should be thinking about something about how to better yourself. Think about your day, reflecting.
Yeah,
that is getting better.
It could be.
That's intense though, because you have a purpose to it.
No.
Intensity is having a purpose. Consistency is just doing the action. Right? Am I right? Here's another thing, okay? Here's another thing that matters. Point number 2. Intensity reaches more people than consistency. So the average American, if you're going to sell something to somebody, it's so hard to say, hey, do this every day. If you don't pray every day, what do you start with? Oh yeah, try 5 minutes a day. No, it's too hard. Try just to pray. Focus when you pray 3 times a week. Right? It's way easier if you just put it like thinking in your brain, oh, I can do that, right? I can intensely pray for 5 minutes 3 times a week. Yeah. You're more likely to do that, and then you get consistency after that. But if your intensity is about focus and gains, consistency is just about doing it. Just because I do it doesn't mean I'm actually getting anywhere. I struggle with that all the time in the morning.
Same thing with being intense. Just because you're intense don't mean you're growing.
If you're intense, but if you're intense, it's hard. It's already hard. Otherwise, it won't be called intense.
But it doesn't mean you're getting better.
It does, because it's challenging you.
But it doesn't mean you're getting better just because you're challenging.
Yes,
it's challenging.
If you try to meet the challenge, if you try and so-called fail, you're still trying. You're getting better than not trying. If you try it and you get it, and then you do it again the next day, now you're building consistency and intensity.
But again,
I think of intensity as a focus.
Yeah. Then again, like intensity is going to come and go. Like.
Yeah, you might not have it all the time, but consistent. It's better than being. Yeah. It's better to be inconsistent, and when you go, do it really hard, than to just do it average every day.
Consistency is easier to build off of. Because if I go to the gym every day and say I started walking, and I just walked 20 minutes, and I consistently did it for 3 months, and in the 3 months I can now consistently now I'm gonna build off that.
Mm-hmm.
Where if I'm just intense, and that it comes and goes. Like, oh, I want to run a marathon when I've only walked 20 minutes for 1 month. I want to run a marathon today. I could run a marathon, but then I'm chocked for 3 months after that, trying to catch my breath.
I do agree with depending on the person, because some people are like free. Like for me, when I rode the marathon, I rode twice, and I was like, I can do this. And I just did it. Yeah. But some people like need to have like that consistency. Yeah. If you're 400 pounds, of course you need to run every day and be consistent to run a marathon.
That's why I'm gonna weird time right here. We're
bonus.
That's why I'm taking consistency, because consistency is easier to build off of. But yeah, intensity is always an awesome bonus.
I think
an awesome factor, especially if you can play intensity right and you know when it can be intense and when you can't be. More power to you. Consistency over intensity.
I can't read my own writing.
That's okay.
But anyways, okay. I think for the certain person, it depends what you can have, intensity versus consistency. I do think consistency is great if you're that type of person. I do. But I think for the average person, it's easier to build on intensity, and while you do intensity, you end up getting consistency. I do believe little gains over time make more gains than one big one and then not doing stuff. I do. But I don't think the word consistency and intensity matches that feeling, especially for 90% of people. That's a whole nother topic for another day, bro. I'll let you have the last thought. Anything?
No, not gonna.
God bless you all for that. Let us know what you think. This is a good conversation. I like it. I wish we had 30 minutes and whatever. Okay, we're going to be done. Thanks for tuning in. Catch you guys later.
Love it. Bye.